If you are just starting bartending, this is literally everything you need to know about liquor. What is up, everyone? It's your girl, Flagrant Nina, and welcome back to Flagrant Bartending. This video is all about the basics of each type of liquor and what the real differences are between them. You absolutely need to know the differences between the types of liquor because otherwise you will not be good at bartending. As a bartender, it is quite literally your job to grab spirits and make cocktails out of them, so you need to know the differences between them and know which spirit goes in what cocktail. When it comes to alcohol, there's basically 4 main categories. And those categories are beer, wine, liquor, and liqueurs, also known as cordials. Today we're going to be only focusing on liquor. There are 6 main types of liquor that you will most likely be working with behind the bar. Pretty much all liquor has an ABV of 40% and above. In this video, you may also hear me refer to liquor as hard liquor or as spirits. But don't worry, it's all the same thing, it just has several names. If you want more in-depth videos talking about each spirit, I have those videos available on my channel. And I'm also still in the process of making them, making sure that I'm giving you guys the most accurate information as possible. It does take some time for me to study and write the whole script and everything. So that's why I don't have all of them out yet, but I do have a good amount of them. So you should definitely check those out if you're looking for more information and knowledge. And if you didn't see my fermentation and distillation video, you should definitely watch it because it'll give you a little bit more context to really help you understand why each spirit is different from each other. Okay, now that I have all that said, let's go ahead and jump into our first liquor. Up first, we have vodka. So the original raw material that vodka is made from was potatoes, but nowadays you can make vodka literally out of any raw material. So the whole thing with vodka is it's supposed to be flavorless, colorless, and odorless. So with that being said, it's pretty much like a blank slate and considered a neutral grain spirit. And because it is a blank slate / neutral grain spirit, people will drink just regular vodka, or they can also get flavored vodkas. For instance, this one is a vanilla flavored vodka, but they have a ton of different flavors like lime, pepper, citrus, mandarin, honestly, you name it. There's a vodka somewhere out there that's flavored that flavor. Because it is a blank slate, you could literally mix it with anything. And it's especially good for people that don't like the taste of alcohol because, vodka is supposed to be flavorless. So if someone wants a really sweet cocktail, probably giving them a vodka cocktail with a bunch of fruity flavors is gonna be right up their alley. Vodka is the most popular spirit worldwide, which means a lot of people like to drink vodka, and that means that they're going to be ordering a lot of vodka drinks from you. Unless you work at a bar that has a specialty spirit that you work with, you're most likely going to have more bottles of vodka versus any other spirit on the shelves because people are very particular about what brands of vodka they like. And that's pretty much it for just the basics of vodka. We're going to go ahead and move on to gin. Literally, the only thing you need to know about gin is that it's flavored with juniper berries. Gin is essentially a neutral grain spirit like vodka, and it's the juniper berries specifically that makes gin gin. So gin equals juniper. If there's no juniper, it is not gin. And just like vodka, gin can be made anywhere in the world. If you're working with a gin that says London Dry, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's made in London, it's just a style of gin. In a casual bar setting, you may not come across a ton of gin drinkers or even really be making cocktails with gin. However, in a craft cocktail scene, you would definitely come across a lot more cocktails that have a gin base and also a lot more gin drinkers. Tequila. Up next we have tequila. Unlike vodka and gin, tequila can only be made in Mexico. The raw material that tequila is made from is agave, but not just any agave. It can only be made from one variety of agave, which is the blue Weber agave. There are 3 styles of tequila. We have Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. The only real difference between tequilas is how long they sit in a barrel. Your Blanco tequilas are going to spend the least amount of time in a barrel, and your Añejos are going to spend the most time in a barrel. There's also extra Añejo, which means extra time in a barrel, because it likes to be extra. But most of the time we're just going to be working with like those three: Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. And while we're on the topic of tequila, I'm going to very briefly go over Mezcal just in case any of you guys end up working with it. So Mezcal is like kind of in the tequila family. I'm not going to say that Mezcal is like a subcategory to tequila, because honestly it's more like a father of tequila that likes to smoke a lot. So like I said before, tequila is made from one variety of agave, which is the Blue Weber agave. On the other hand, Mezcal can be made from any variety of agave. So essentially all tequila is Mezcal, but not all Mezcal is tequila. So Mezcal is more like the umbrella term, and tequila fits under that umbrella. And the reason why the flavor of Mezcal is a bit more smoky is because a very slight difference in the production compared to regular tequila. Now we're gonna go into rum. The raw material that rum comes from is sugarcane. It can either be fermented and distilled from sugarcane juices or molasses. Rum can be made anywhere in the world, but it's mostly associated with multiple island countries in the Caribbean. There are a bunch of different kinds of rum. Rum is super complicated, and I do have a video coming up soon about the in-depth of how to categorize rum. But for the sake of this video and it being just the basics, basically you just need to know you have silver, gold, dark, and spiced. When it comes to rum, the color of the rum isn't quite indicative. It's not quite indicative on how long it spends in a barrel, because some rums do filter out the color of rum, and other rums add color into it to make it look more aged than it actually is. I will say like the only category of rum that is a little bit more like specific is spiced rum. Spiced rum is exactly what it sounds. It's rum that has been infused with spices. Not all brands of spiced rum will tell you what spices they put into it. But honestly, yeah, that's pretty much all I can really tell you about rum in this video without getting too specific. Again, I have an in-depth video all about rum coming soon, but for now, this is just the basics. Now we're gonna go into whiskey. Whiskey is very interesting because it's similar to tequila and also rum technically, that it's more like an umbrella term. There's a bunch of different types of whiskey, but they're all considered whiskey. Basically, the raw material that whiskey is made from is grain. And the main differences between the different types of whiskey are what type of grain and also which country of origin. The most popular types of whiskey are bourbon, rye, Tennessee, Irish, Scotch, Canadian, and Japanese. But technically, whiskey can be made anywhere in the world. I will say most whiskey is pretty regular schmegular, but there are some whiskeys that are flavored. Like the very popular brand Crown Royal has a bunch of different flavored whiskeys like sour apple and vanilla. And last but not least, we're going to talk about brandy. So the raw material used in brandy is any type of fruit. There are grape brandies, apricot brandies, cherry brandies, literally you name a fruit, you could make a brandy out of it. Out of all the different types of brandy, grapes are the most commonly used. The most popular style of brandy is called cognac. Cognac can only be called cognac if it is made from grapes in the Cognac region of France, and also made in the style that cognac is supposed to be made in. Alright, let's do a super quick SparkNote version of all the spirits just to bring it all together. Vodka. Vodka is the basic bitch of all spirits. It could be made anywhere, it could be made from anything. It is flavorless, colorless, and odorless. It is quite literally a blank slate of all spirits. Gin. Gin is basically vodka plus juniper berries, but it has to have juniper in it. If there's no juniper, it's not gin. Tequila has to be made in Mexico from the Blue Weber agave, and there's three types: Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. Blanco being the least aged in a barrel, Añejo being the most aged in a barrel. Mezcal is the father of tequila that likes to smoke a lot. It could be made from any agave, and it has a very smoky flavor. Rum. Rum can be made anywhere in the world, and it's made from sugarcane, either sugarcane juices or molasses. And the styles of rum are silver, gold, dark, and spiced. Whiskey. Whiskey can be made from anywhere in the world as long as it's made from grain. The specifics of whiskey come from the country of origin that it's made and the type of grain it's made from. The most popular types of whiskey are bourbon, rye, Tennessee, Scotch, Irish, Canadian, and Japanese. Brandy. Brandy as a whole can be made anywhere around the world and can be made from any fruit. Cognac is the most popular style of brandy, and it can only be made in the Cognac region of France with the Cognac principles on how it is made. And that's basically everything that you really need to know about liquor to start bartending as soon as possible. If you want more background knowledge into each spirit, make sure to check out all my in-depth videos on each spirit on my channel. I have links in the description. And if you want to know the most popular brands of each type of liquor, which you really should know if you want to start bartending, I also have a playlist for that in the description as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys very much enjoyed it, and I will see you next time on Flagrant Bartending. Stay fly.